Hey, what's going on, people? Hope you guys are doing good. I cover a lot of robotic vacuums on this channel, and today we're gonna be looking at a brand new one, which is the Dreame D10 Plus. This is a fantastic robotic vacuum that actually competes directly with the Z10 Pro, which I've been using for several months now. The Z10 Pro is almost a $600 vacuum, and you get a lot of the same features in this vacuum for nearly half the price, as long as you live in a region where this vacuum will be released. This is actually going to be a 2-for-1 video, because not only are we going to be looking at the robotic D10 Plus vacuum, but also Dreame's new stick vacuum, the T30. But before we dive into that, let's go ahead and unbox the D10 Plus and get it set up. Inside the box, you get the vacuum itself, a 145 milliliter water tank, a 400 milliliter dust tank, a power cord, a side brush, a 2.5 liter dust collection bag, a dustbin that includes a filter already installed, a main brush, and of course the charging base. In terms of specs, the D10 Plus packs 4000 PA for suction power. And it has a 52 milliamp hour battery on board, which is plenty big enough for most households. I've never had the issue where the D10 Plus has died in the middle of a job. And if it does get low on battery, it will simply redock itself. Once it reaches a full charge, it will go back out and finish the job. So battery life is not an issue when it comes to this vacuum. The D10 Plus packs Lidar sensors, which are right up here at the top. These sensors are used for obstacle avoidance, which we'll be testing out later in the video. They're also used for the auto mapping feature. Dreame states that it can automatically map out your home in as little as 8 minutes. When I ran the auto mapping on my downstairs area, it took around 8 minutes, which was right on the money. It did a great job, and it even separated some of the rooms for me. Now that we've talked about the specs and we've talked about the design, let's talk about the app, because the app brings tons of features to the D10 Plus. And one thing I really love is that the D10 Plus uses the Mi Home app, just like Dreame's other products. So let's go ahead and dive into the D10 Plus. So I'll tap on Amber, and immediately I'm greeted with my map. And this is the map that the auto mapping feature generated. You can see it broke my floor plan up into 4 different rooms. Of course, if you want to go in and modify your floor plan, whether you need to split rooms, merge rooms, or rename rooms, you could do so by tapping on Map Management, and then tap on your map that you created. And from here, you can merge, split, and rename rooms really easy. And what's great is if you go into map management, you can set up multiple floors. So if you have a multi-story home, you can set up a 1st story map, a 2nd story map, and even a 3rd story map. Or if you really want to get the most out of your vacuum and you work in a different space, like say you have an office at work, you can technically create a map for that office and then bring your vacuum to and from work. And then have multiple maps in that aspect. If you want to set up different cleaning settings, you can tap on cleaning settings. And from here, you can adjust your cleaning modes. So we have our sweeping mode, mopping, and then mopping and sweeping, suction settings, water volume settings, and then we have customized cleaning. If I toggle that on and then tap on set, I can actually customize the cleaning modes per room. So let's say I only wanted to vacuum in room 1 or my game room here. I can set that up. If I only wanted to mop in the bathroom, I could set that up. And then in my living room and kitchen, I can set up mopping and vacuum. If I go back into cleaning settings, below customized cleaning, I have cleaning sequence. And this is something that I recently discovered. I think it's awesome. You can sequence which room gets cleaned first. So let's say I wanted to start with my living room. I could tap on room 4 and then go to my game room and then go to the bathroom, and then finish up in the hallway. So you can see I have a sequence right here created, and the vacuum will start in room 4 and then end with room 3. And of course, inside the mapping area right here, you can pick a room to clean. So if you only want to clean one specific room, just tap on room on the bottom and then select the room that you want to clean. Going under all will clean your entire floor plan. And then zone, you can actually zone out an area to clean, or you can create a no-go zone. All this stuff is pretty standard, but I just figured I would show you. If you want to dive into the vacuum a little bit further, you can tap on the 3 little dots in the top right. And from here, we can go under device settings. So these are going to be your basic settings, such as volume and voice, the time zone, notifications. You can also set up carpet boost, which will automatically ramp up the suction power whenever the vacuum detects that it's on carpet. If you have children, you might want to consider turning on child lock. Once it's enabled, all buttons on the base and robot will be locked. and you can press any button to pause the robot if it's operating. There's also the resume cleaning mode, which I briefly mentioned earlier. I highly recommend leaving this on. What it does is if the robot gets low on power, it will automatically dock. Once it reaches a sufficient charge, it will go back out and finish the job. And we have some other basic settings like do not disturb and then starting time and ending time. Under device settings, we have scheduled cleanup. This is a pretty basic feature, but nonetheless, if you're new to robotic vacuums, it's really useful. Then underneath scheduled cleanup, we have cleaning history. And then accessory usage is great for maintenance. So of course, robotic vacuums do require maintenance. You need to clean the sensors, the filters, so on and so forth. If you want to see where you're at in your maintenance, just tap on accessory usage and you can see the percentage of life remaining on your main brush, side brush, and filter. Well, not so much life, just how dirty it is. So when this gets really low, you would clean it, and then once you clean it, you go in and then reset the filter back up to 100%. Then we have remote control, which we're gonna test out here in just a minute. This works great and it allows you to control the vacuum with your phone. Intelligent scene goes along with the automation that I showed you earlier. So if you wanna create different scenes, you can, and then link different smart home products together. We'll go back. And the rest is just pretty basic. So that's a quick look at the Mi Home app and the Dreame software features that come with the D10 Plus. But one thing I forgot to mention is that it does work with Google Home, Amazon's platform, and if this then that. But the functionality is a little bit limited. However, it does work. So check this out. So Alexa, start Amber. And there it goes. So you can definitely start a cleanup using Amazon's platform or Google's platform. But like I said, it is pretty limited. Like I can't stop it. At least I haven't been able to figure out how to stop it. But nonetheless, it is kind of cool that at least it works for starting. So here's the remote control inside of the app. You can steer the vacuum to the left, as you see. You can steer it to the right. And of course, you can go forward. So we're gonna go ahead and do a sound test now, and I'm going to use this in order to trigger the vacuum for the sound. So we're gonna go ahead and test out the Lidar sensor on the D10 Plus. One of the tests that I like to do is take a vacuum and I put it on this table to see if the vacuum is gonna go over the edge. This is to simulate like a second story vacuuming job, because if it goes to the stairs and it doesn't have a good Lidar sensor, it's just gonna go right down the stairs. Whereas if it has a good Lidar sensor, it's going to detect that edge and back itself up and avoid going or falling down the stairs. So the D10 Plus, of course, passes this with flying colors. It's able to detect the edge of the table and then back itself away. I've yet to have a Dreame vacuum fall over the edge of this table. So their AI algorithms and Lidar sensors are great, especially at detecting small drop-offs like on this table or stairs. All right, so I have my typical Lidar test obstacle course set up. We have a couple flip-flops, a battery, a water bottle, a flower randomly, a dog bone, and a charger. And then I have a bowl of cereal and some chips. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle this on the ground because I figure, you know, kids, messes, stuff like that. This should simulate a pretty big mess. So we'll go ahead and just sprinkle this all around. All right, so got a nice little mess right here. And I'm gonna go ahead and run the vacuum and see how well it cleans up all this stuff, as well as avoid all of these objects. So the D10 Plus did a pretty good job on its first pass in terms of cleaning up the cereal and the chips. However, the obstacle avoidance could use a little work. I mean, the good thing is it never got caught on anything. It didn't get stuck. It kind of just moved everything out of the way really easily. So it organizes your stuff, I guess. You could look at that as like a perk. But for the most part, I would say it did a pretty good job. I'm gonna go ahead and run a second pass now. So on the second pass, it did a great job at cleaning up the cereal and the chips. There's nothing left. So definitely do 2 passes if you are using this vacuum and you're trying to clean up a mess like I just showed you. But you can dial that in inside of the app and have it do 2 passes right off the bat versus 1. The self-emptying bin that comes with the Dreame D10 Plus is actually unique and different than most others on the market. It uses something called dual boost, which is Dreame's patented technology. Dual Boost utilizes blowing and suction via two air circulation paths to collect dust from the robot vacuum into the base. It also allows for a more efficient self-emptying process, being able to empty the robot's dust box in 10 seconds, all while preventing clogging and minimizing noise. In comparison, most other vacuums only have a suction airflow path, which are typically louder and can lead to blockages. So other than being a great robotic vacuum, the D10 Plus is also a pretty good robotic mop. All you have to do is put on the attachment, fill it with water, adjust the levels inside the app, and then send it on its way. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a huge robotic mop person. I tend to manually mop just because I have a lot of rugs and carpet in my house, so it's just a little bit easier to avoid potential messes. But I have to say, based off my experience with the D10 Plus, it does do a pretty good job. So if you have a home that is, 99% tile or wood, you're not gonna be disappointed. So that was a look at the D10 Plus, the latest vacuum from Dreame. I gotta say, this thing packs incredible value. I'll drop a couple links down in the description so you can check it out for yourself. A lot of people forget that these robotic vacuums are more meant for maintenance, so having a good manual vacuum or cordless stick vacuum is essential. So that brings me to the next Dreame vacuum, the T30. So let's talk about that a little bit. So this is the Dreame T30. It's a cordless stick vacuum that packs tons of features, and it comes in at under 500 bucks. First and foremost, you get a lot of accessories inside the box. So inside the box, you get the main unit. You get one carbon fiber rod that looks really sweet, to be honest. You get an extension hose, a flexible adapter, a wall charger, 2-in-1 brush nozzle, a soft dusting brush, an LED crevice nozzle, a mini electric brush, a smart multi-brush bar, and then the 2-in-1 charging and storage mount. So typically in the past, when it comes to like wall mounts and organizers, I don't wall mount them. I just use it on the floor because I'm lazy. But I actually decided to wall mount this one, and I gotta say, it does make a difference. Everything stores nice and tidy, and it just stays out of the way. I keep it inside like this little closet right here with all of my cleaning goods, and I gotta say, it does its job. I'm really impressed with it. I guess I should probably start using mounts more often. So that's what comes inside the box. Now let's go over the specs of this vacuum as well as its performance. In terms of suction power, the T30 packs 27,000 PA. It has a max runtime of 90 minutes if you're using it in eco mode, but if you use it in max mode, you're gonna get around 7.5 to 8 minutes. Charging time takes approximately 4 hours, and it uses Dreame's Space 5.0 motor, giving you a good balance of efficiency and power. The best part about this vacuum is its weight. It weighs 3.88 pounds, making it very light. It's easy to maneuver and carry upstairs, or if you're vacuuming stairs, shelves, or anything overhead. So going back to the battery life, the exact numbers are 90 minutes in eco mode, 35 minutes in standard, and if you're using the max or turbo mode, you're gonna get between 7.5 and 8 minutes depending on your usage. I know a lot of you might be thinking that 7.5 minutes doesn't sound like a long time, but if you look at this compared to higher price vacuums, it's on par with the competition. Plus, this vacuum has a swappable battery, so you could easily pick up extra batteries, charge one in the dock, and then one in the vacuum itself, since this does have a plug right here, and then you could swap them out as you need to. Plus, you don't always have to use this vacuum in turbo mode. You can leave it in auto, since this does have dust detection. Speaking of auto dust detection, let's talk about a few of the other features on this vacuum. So first and foremost, we have a little LCD display right here, which will show you things like your modes. So right now I'm in auto, we have eco, medium, and then turbo. If I go back to auto, you'll see the auto dust detection automatically working right here. It'll give you like a grid, and it will show you how much dust is being detected. So if it's really high, you'll see a high peak in the grid, and then you'll hear the suction power ramp up. So it's automatically going to adjust the suction based on how much dust is being detected. Another useful feature when it comes to this display is that it shows you your remaining battery life depending on the mode that you're in. So in auto mode, I have 75 minutes and 35 seconds, but of course this just depends on the ramping that the auto mode does. But if I switched over to eco, you can see it's exactly the same. 75 minutes and 35 seconds. If I go to medium, it's gonna give me 28 minutes and 44 seconds. And then in turbo mode, we have 5 minutes and 48 seconds. And if I start the vacuum, you'll see that time start to tick down. So 8 minutes and 17, 16, 15. So it's really useful, and it just shows you how much you have remaining as you're vacuuming. Another thing is this little trigger right here. You can set it up to where either you hold it down and then when you release it, it stops, or you can tap this lock button up here. And now when you hit the trigger, it stays going. So as you can see, I'm not touching it. And then to turn it off, I just tap the trigger, just like so. If I press and hold this little circle button down here, it's gonna pull up another menu. And then from here, I can check out my cleaning record. It'll show me how often I've been using the vacuum and for how long. And then if I go back, there's also the ability to switch to a different language, or you could just exit. So you have a few features built into this little LCD, and I think it's pretty useful. I wish it was a touch screen and I wish it was a little bit bigger, but overall, I can't complain because it does exactly what it's supposed to. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna test out the suction power on the T30. And to do that, I'm going to empty out this bin all over the floor. And we have like a lot of this is just gonna get nasty. So let's go ahead and empty this out. To make things a little bit more interesting, I'm gonna go ahead and just crunch up these a little bit, scatter them all out. Look at that nastiness. Go ahead and put the stick back on. Only reason why I took the stick off was because I was dumping this on the floor, and I honestly did not want to get anything on my shoes or shirt. So it was to protect me more than the vacuum. I'm gonna put this in auto mode, and I'm gonna let auto do its thing and see how well the dust detection works. I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of scatter this out a little bit. And let's test this out. So, here we go. Nice and easy. You can hear it ramping up. I mean, as long as you're going nice and slow, do another pass. You can hear the dust detection working, it's ramping up. And look at that, it is clean. I mean, I think the automatic dust detection works really good. So maintenancing or servicing the vacuum is really easy. To empty out the bin, it's just a little button right here. You just hit the button and that's it. To access the filter, all you have to do is just pull back this little latch right here, and then this just pops right off. And then from here, you can pull out the HEPA filter, which is down here on the bottom. Just slide it out like so. And then now you can move on to this filter. Just flip it over. You can pull this part out, clean this filter right here. Again, let it dry. And then you have access to this portion. Just pull up the handle like so and twist to unlock it, pull it out, rinse this off, let it dry. You can clean up the inside as well if you choose to do so. This vacuum has a 5-layer filtration system, and it can trap and capture 99.6% of particles. So if you suffer from bad allergies, this might actually help you by capturing the things that trigger your allergies like pet hair or pollen. So right now, the T30 is available on the Dreame website for $449. And at that price, I think it's a steal. You're getting a great vacuum that has powerful suction capabilities. It's built really well. The carbon fiber looks extremely nice. It's lightweight. And because of all the accessories and how lightweight this vacuum is, you have the ultimate flexibility when it comes to your cleaning. You can clean your stairs, you can clean in your car, you can clean your couches in between the crevices of your sofas and cushions, shelves, baseboards. You can clean your entire house with this vacuum. I'm gonna link it down below so you can check it out for yourself. So to wrap this up, these two vacuums make a great pair. They actually make a complete set. The D10 Plus is going to give you the maintenance that you need to keep your floors clean daily, while the T30 is going to help you get those thorough cleans in. So if you're cleaning your floors thoroughly 1 to 2 times, like every 2 to 3 weeks, this is going to give you that power and that flexibility, especially for the hard to reach places like the stairs, cracks and crevices. Whereas the D10 Plus, you can run daily and it's going to help clean up small spots on your floor and take care of all the maintenance. I really like this pair, and you can get them both for under $1,000, which I think that is a steal. Let me know what you think of the D10 Plus and the T30 in the comments below. Links to both of these can be found in the description. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more vacuum videos just like this, and I'll see you beautiful people in the next one.